When you walked out, I was like, what the f? You looked like an action figure.
Hey there, I'm Aria, and for 4 months this year, I trained in MMA before actually stepping in a cage and fighting someone. What a fun time that was. If you haven't seen that video, I would encourage that you check it out because the rest of this video will probably have a lot of spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Today, I want to break down how things actually happened over the course of the 17 weeks, talking about my training, my diet, the fight itself, as well as answering a few questions that you guys had in the comments. So originally I was only going to train for 3 months, but then that got postponed to 4 months because of a scheduling change with the promotion I was fighting for. But either way, 3 or 4 months was always going to be a tight time frame to try and get this done. So I had to make sure my training was just as good as it could be. And luckily I put together a great team to work with. I had Steve Zim of Untitled Fitness Studio working on my strength and conditioning. And then I also had Chris Reilly, who is a former Muay Thai and kickboxing champion, as my head coach, as well as Daniel Gutierrez over at Defiant Gym as my striking coach. So with Steve, Chris, and Daniel, I had a crack team working with me to make sure I was at least going to be as fight ready as possible within 3 to 4 months. The diet was also very, very key because I was aiming to fight at featherweight, which means I had to weigh in on fight day at 145 pounds.
We are at 154.5.
And so that came down to my work with Trifecta Nutrition. I worked with Emmy and Mario over there. They're two of the team. And the priority of the diet was clean eating, no processed sugar, and making sure I just hit my macros while staying under 1,900 calories. And within that window, my macro breakdown was 70 grams of fat, 150 grams of protein, and 215 grams of carbs. By the end of my training period though, my caloric limit and my macros had changed, and so I was at 2,300 calories maximum, 75 grams of fat, 150 grams of protein, and 250 grams of carbohydrates. I was so strict with my diet. I would log everything I had on my Trifecta app. I had a food scale at home and at work that I would take to restaurants with me to make sure I was weighing my food properly. Some may say that was a little overkill, but I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. So one of the first things we did was that we went to go get my body fat scan together. We are at Body Spec to get a DEXA scan. This is the most accurate way to get a body fat reading because you're getting a direct reading from head to toe, which is why the number is significantly higher. And apparently my total body fat is 28.4%, a lot higher than Jack and I thought. Before we even began the entire filming process, you actually took me on a 2-mile run to see where I was at cardio-wise.
Yeah, we did the run and I was pretty surprised with how bad your running was.
How you feeling, man?
Not good. So with Steve Zim, we worked not just on strength training, but making sure that my cardio was on point. We would work on machines like Jacob's ladder.
This is the hardest cardio ever because not only are you using your legs, but you're using your arms. Your arms are going above your heart. So when your arms are up here, your heart rate goes up even higher.
Jack basically did train with me 3 days a week in the mornings with Steve.
Steve is an incredible trainer.
This isn't just a transformation for what we're doing here. You're going to be able to take this to other parts of your life.
He showed us things that I've never seen before, never done.
I came up with this years and years ago. What we do is we put a bungee cord on a Smith machine. So normally when you bench press, when you're at the bottom, it's the hardest. And when you get to the top, it's the easiest. But when you're in a sport where you're punching, you want that extension to be the most explosive. So we make the bottom the easiest and the top the hardest.
It was like a lot of weightlifting, but very technical.
He would also isolate things. You'd be doing leg curls with one leg.
He would have you hold one of the handles here and one of the handles here and do those punches. Like I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
We built it up and we built it up, and every time I added more and more to him, he could do it. He was shocking me every time because I thought, okay, he's not going to be able to bench this. He does it. He's not going to be able to shoulder press this. He does it. He can't hold this position for 30 seconds. He does it. And so that lets me keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Keep in mind, I actually just got this test done today, and so this is after a couple weeks of eating. But I dropped 10% at least of body fat in these 4 months of training.
That's great.
I did not know exactly how cut I was going to be able to get him, but he looks amazing.
I'm very humbled to have had the experience to learn Muay Thai from a champion fighter like Chris Reilly.
I can do this, and sure, like, you know, a big strong guy can probably create some power, right? But watch this.
Oh, well, yeah. We did a crash course in Muay Thai. Chris had to throw so many fundamentals at me that it was hard to sort of juggle all of them at once. There's so much coordination required. You know, my body's just not used to moving in the ways I expected of me.
Turn your body, bang, bang, and now come up, bang.
I was trying to absorb so much in such a limited amount of time that it was tough at first. When Daniel of Defiant Gym let Chris and I train at his gym, however, that was a huge plus because essentially I was training with Chris, but then I was also able to train during classes at Defiant as well to further hone my skills. And at that point, it was more a matter of just repetition.
1, 2, 1 kick. Beautiful. Your head kicks have gotten a lot better.
A question we did receive a lot was about how much grappling I actually did. So I did take some jiu-jitsu classes at Defiant Gym, and Chris actually had some jiu-jitsu training himself, so he was able to coach me, but we definitely didn't do as much grappling or groundwork as I would have liked. Because obviously grappling is such a huge part of MMA, but there's only so much I could learn in such a short amount of time. So if I do fight again, I would definitely add a lot more grappling training into my work. And so if there are any wrestling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coaches out there that want to train me, slide into my DMs. There were a lot of doubts. Like after getting beat up, I would wonder, why am I doing this to myself? You know, am I actually cut out for this? And so these doubts plagued me a lot. And I think in every single sparring session, I was always the guy with the least amount of experience. So I was just getting my ass handed to me each time.
Didn't a guy knee you when you're in a wall? He kneed you right in the stomach and you're like, but then you got back up and kept trying with him. So that was very cool.
There you go.
I think mentally Aria is very strong. Physically, I don't know.
He's probably one of the softest people I know. I like to say I'm a really optimistic person, but I'm also a realist. And if I'm being real, I'm scared.
We care about you so much. I don't think what everyone said came from a place of like them trying to doubt you. It was just from a place of protection and defense, and they were scared.
I just want to hold him and keep any harm from coming to him.
I never want to see him in a situation where someone would hurt him.
Everyone envisions themselves in you and kind of like gets scared because they're like, I would never do that, because they're afraid to fail. Everyone's afraid to fail, and you're not. And that's very rare.
You came to the fight, and we only recently got close.
True.
But you, for some reason, were one of the very few people that believed in me.
Go figure. I was watching you train in like the week that we had started chatting, and you were measuring out your food, which was bizarre. And you were like not making meetings because you were going to train. And I could just kind of gather that you were taking this very, very, very seriously. So I had no doubt that you were going to be as prepared as you possibly could.
In the beginning, I was like, there's no way that he sticks with this diet and exercise schedule, but he has really done it.
He's been so diligent. Like, it's almost scary.
It is scary.
Biggest low point for you, I feel like, was when you found out the fight was pushed.
Got a call from the promotion, and they're pushing back the fight date. I was concerned because I already put my body through something it had never done before. So the idea of another month of hard training, of dieting, it was a struggle.
Yeah, I feel bad that the fight got extended because he's been working really hard and I can tell he's at a breaking point.
I think with this added time, it just left the door open for more doubt to just get in my head. But I think what helped me overcome everything was just talking to my coaches. Never once in the journey did they ever really seem to doubt me. And I knew I owed it to them and to myself to just power through.
Packing up the car right now because today is fight day.
You're gonna surprise you.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming so early. Weigh-ins in the morning was my first time ever seeing Kasen and meeting him face to face.
And shake hands.
Mad respect.
And the rest of the day was kind of just spent getting myself mentally ready.
You're doing something that a lot of men these days don't have the balls to do. So no matter what, when you walk out of there, you better walk out of there with your head up high. But no matter what, you better walk in there and destroy this mother.
Basically, at this point, these guys don't exist. You need to stop talking to them. You look ready. You look ready to go. Like, dude, it's just, you know. Now it's just about doing it. It's just about doing it. You know.
Originally, you were not coming to the fight.
I will not be seeing it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the fight.
But you came to the fight in the end.
Aria, we love you so much, and you are so inspiring because you really put yourself into your work for a reason, for a cause, and for love, and I hope that you fight tonight for love. I think I was like, yeah, he's got this, Aria's got this, until I saw one of the guys get his shoulder dislocated, and they tried to like pop it back in. Oh, and I know you guys knew backstage, but you didn't tell him.
You guys knew?
Yeah.
I have never been more out of my element, I don't think, than when I walked into that arena. I got to a point before your fight where I was like, why am I here? I don't know this guy that well. Like, this is just like the last thing I want to be doing right now. I'm watching a man scream in pain.
But look at us now.
These are all distractions, man. Like, all of it. You go in the back. Everyone else too. Like, you have to focus. Like, stay really focused, bro.
The most nerves I had was that moment before I made my walkout.
Right now, it's no joke. Yeah? This is the real thing. Yeah? Now it's not a dream, now it's not a concept. Now it's real.
The moment my name was announced, it all just went away, and I just knew it was time.
Oh my God. When you walked out, I was like, what the f? You looked like an action figure. You were like, angry, no smile, chiseled, pissed. I was like, did he contour? Because your cheekbones were like popping off and you marched down, and I seriously thought you were gonna kill someone. I was like, Aria's brought us all here today to possibly murder this man.
I felt good when the fight began.
You looked good. You looked like you were doing something right.
You were in it, you were fighting. I could see you were like calculated and everything.
But then I think, honestly, it was just a lack of experience. Kasen put me into a guillotine.
And then I was like, he's gonna get out of this. And then it was like a couple seconds later, I'm like, okay, he's still fighting through it. Yeah, punch him, punch him.
I remember Kasen squeezing his arms. I remember feeling my neck getting crushed. But I do also remember thinking to myself, whatever you do, don't tap out. I'm not gonna tap out to this guy.
And then when your arm dropped, your body dropped like that, like a rag doll, I was like, F***. Is he dead? Is he okay?
The mood dropped. It felt like everybody froze and nobody made eye contact. And everybody was like craning to try to look at you.
I think I like kind of blacked out. Like, I don't even know if my footage was usable or anything from the ring, because I was just so like, what just happened?
Yeah, but then you were right back up again. And we're like, oh.
That's a prank.
Okay. Yeah, surprise.
I feel like you were almost as much of a daze as I was. That's why I felt bad with the loss, because I was like, I didn't want to let you down.
Well, don't feel bad. You did an incredible job, and like, you did so much and you accomplished things that most people couldn't do.
Your stand-up was better than his. Like, you had a little more time. You guys are really turning it around, but you just got caught. You did good. You did good. You just got caught in a rookie error, dude.
I trained for 4 months for 1 minute. But that's fighting, right? That's the game. That's the sport. And I have no ill feelings about that. That's what I signed up for. Someone has to win, someone has to lose.
Good stuff, man. No one can do that. I mean, 1% of the population didn't tap out.
Would it have been great for the fight to go all 3 rounds? Yeah. Would it have been great for me to win? Yeah. And do I think I could have won? Yeah. I think I actually felt good in there. But that's fighting.
Yeah, man. I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, like I said, it's his balls to get in there, dude. I see people train twice as long as me and they don't even go in.
One of the biggest questions I've received is if I actually will fight again. And if I'm being completely honest, yeah, I would love to fight again. The question is when I would fight again. This sport takes so much time, so much dedication, that if I were to do it again, I would want to do it right. I wouldn't want to half-ass it. Are you surprised when I say that I would want to fight again?
No, I want you to do it.
I want you to fight again. The only reason I will go back into another casino like that is if you fight again. Just don't get choked out again, please.
But regardless of whether or not I fight again, this has truly been probably the greatest experience of my life. So much of the fight game and life it's all in our heads. You know, it's our fears, it's our doubts, but it's us trying to control those fears and doubts and allowing them to motivate us instead of hinder us. That's where success can be found. I'm very grateful to everyone that's been a part of this journey, including all of you that took the time to watch. I hope that all of us can take away from my experience the endless possibilities that are within each of us.